Whatever you drive, drive more beautifully.
After 17 years, the NASCAR Xfinity Series roars back into Mexico. And it's not coming quietly. This Saturday, live from Mexico City.
Oh my gosh, these fans are amazing.
The tempers will be hot.
Let's go.
The danger will be high.
Oh, we got a crash!
And the racing will be right on the edge. The NASCAR Xfinity Series, this Saturday from Mexico City at 4 Eastern, 1 Pacific.
NASCAR on Prime's headed to Mexico City.
Brand new road course for the Cup guys. I love it.
Sounds like a track with my name all over it. Actually, it's called Dromo Hermonos Rodriguez.
Stream Mexico City. It's on Prime.
Winding down practice time. NASCAR Cup Series racing this weekend in Mexico City. Kyle Larson, one of the best in the bunch when you talk about racing on the road. We've shown the graphic multiple times today. 6 wins for him in his career, 3 in the next-gen era. And look at him coming off 15, just letting it go.
Yeah, I was wondering when somebody might do that. You accelerating out of turn 15, you can stay tidy on the racetrack. But as you start to lose grip in the tire, will these drivers really open up that corner exit of turn 15 and drive that car out like Kyle Larson did? It's really dirty out there. There's probably not a ton of grip out there, but Kyle Larson knows if they can get that part of the racetrack clean, that's going to allow him to drive out of that turn 15 straighter, get more throttle down, which will help him at the end of the straightaway into turn 1. And that's what I call, that's a guy who's thinking outside of the box. That's a race car driver, so he's throttling up right here. See him start to fishtail driving that car. He's way offline, but he's intentionally offline. No one's went wide off this corner all day long, but now he's trying to get out there to see if that's probably maybe something he thinks he can use later in the run when the tires just don't have the grip.
And he went left so early, he didn't have to even go over the curb. He got left of the curb before the curb started. That was pretty crazy.
Yeah. We talk about drivers that are very smart and savvy in searching for faster lines at the ovals, trying the middle, the top, finding speed somewhere on the racetrack. This guy's doing it everywhere at the road courses as well.
Let's see if he does it again. Marty, what are you hearing in the garage?
11 straight laps for Kyle Larson now. Boy, this is going to be an entertaining race on Sunday with as much as these drivers are sliding their cars around. But see, the kind of the conversation coming in the weekend was a lot of concern around the engines. That doesn't seem to be much of an issue. Some teams talking about running a little hotter than they would like to, but they are all still talking about brakes. Are you surprised? That's kind of the main topic for these teams. They're trying to keep the brakes under the driver for the whole run.
I'm not surprised because right behind engine temperatures, brake temperatures were what was the talk of the garage. And we heard Trevor Bayne mention it, some other drivers mention it, that they have not had to manage for years. You had to manage your brakes. That was Dale's job. I mean, if you abuse these brakes, they're not going to last all day. You can just be stubborn or you can work on it. This new car, that went away. It was unnecessary. And now with the elevation, the track, the combination of the two, that art of managing brakes is going to come back to play, which I love. I think it's a skill set. Just challenges the driver. One more thing we'd like to see out of him.
A little bit of tire smoke right there, and that's another thing that we saw a lot in the first practice, and we're still seeing a little bit now. We should see quite a bit in the race as well when they're in traffic, is those small little minute lockups. And that over the course of a run can be very problematic to the tire. When you flat spot a tire, so you slide the tire, it drags a flat spot on the tire. Every time you go into another braking zone, it tries to find that flat spot and continue to slide. And braking zone after braking zone, you continue to damage that tire and eventually blow it out, Trevor.
Yeah, Todd Gilliland said that's where they've really improved this 34 car this practice. Last practice, he felt like the rear was really edgy. They've been working on it to make it better. And I know as a driver, you have brake bias. You can manage your brake pressure. But I'm seeing a lot of teams play with ride heights. We saw the 54 drop the back down earlier and spin out. Steve, how important is that attitude to the braking capability of these cars?
So normally it's very, very important, but both from a mechanical weight transfer standpoint and an aerodynamic transfer standpoint. So to be honest, Trevor, these are the questions I have to ask, right? Are the mechanical grip taking over for the reduction in aero load? There's just a lot of question marks that we just don't get to see. And as I did research coming here, this isn't a NASCAR thing. Formula One comes here, they run an aero package that you would never run at a track this size. So everyone in the racing circles talked about how much of a challenge the aero balance was going to be at this racetrack.
Real impressed with the speed this 54 of Ty Gibbs is showing today. As you're looking in this column on the left, that is the best 5-lap average. We're starting to get to the point in the practice where drivers are running 10 laps, so we'll be able to look at that here in a few more minutes. But this 5-lap average gives you an idea of the teams, the cars that are actually competitive over the course of a long run or 5 or 10 laps. So Priest jumping up there in the 4th place. Everyone has ran this many laps. Everyone is on this. And it's interesting to see some drivers like Chase Elliott as well, Cindric.
I go to Priest, I go to Buscher. Both drivers that come in right around that playoff cut line.
Yep.
And you enter this race on Sunday knowing it's all about total points accumulation. If you can't win the race, maybe run it long, get some stage points, and if you start up front, you really open the door to create those opportunities, Trevor.
Yeah, and Ty Gibbs, I mentioned earlier when he had that spin out, they're pushing the limits on that rear ride height. They came in, jacked it up, got under the rear, changed the heights back, put the tires on and said, let's go. So no damage that looked enough to have to work on the underneath of the car. I know that's a good sign for Ty Gibbs. He's been fast in both practices. Again, he's a guy that I've got circled to watch to win his first Cup race this weekend.
So, Trevor, am I crazy? I mean, don't you think you just try to get the back as low as you can for both aerodynamics and center of gravity, right? I mean, that's what they did. They just went far enough down until they finally hit the curbs.
Yeah, to me, Steve, I think it helps the way that the car stands up. When you get on the brakes, it shifts a lot of load to the front. When you're road course racing, you're spiking that pressure. The rear of the car stands up and it gets light. But when you can get the back down, that changes that pendulum and the way that it swings to the nose.
It's kind of like a 3-point stance or a 4-point stance versus standing like a wide receiver on the line of scrimmage, right? You get down low, 4-point stance, and someone, shoves you in the shoulders, you're pretty locked in. If you jam that receiver off the line, you can take him off his feet. It's the same idea. You try to get that car kind of low to the ground, be as loaded as possible.
Looking at Brad Keselowski here. You want to pay off the fact that RFK had all 3 of their cars top 10 last week at Michigan. 6 has been better lately, showing 13th on the board right now.
Yeah, one thing I see an issue, though, is he slid that right front tire twice in this lap that we've been watching. And you just won't be able to push the car that hard. He can do it now. He can do it today. He can get away with it. But over the course of a long run, you're going to have to really minimize. And it seems like it's super easy for them to really overcook the braking zone or slide that tire through even, some of the tighter corners on this racetrack. You're picking up that inside tire. It's not even planted on the racetrack, easy to slide.
Yeah, more than others. Right? We've had Indy was new, Coda was new. Like, we see new road courses. There's I can't wait to walk the garage. There's more going on. Like, what are they attributing this to? Because it's more than just a new track. I think there has to be something else.
It's final practice about done. Time ticking down. Gilliland, Chastain, Gibbs, Blaney, Buscher, the top 5.
And these cars haven't been inspected. Long night for these crews. They're going to take these cars that have gone over all those curbs. They're going to double check it. Now they have to pass NASCAR inspection with the underbody. Everything has to, be clear to go. They're going to come in, do group qualifying tomorrow. So, lot of work for these teams ahead this evening to get these cars ready to go. But I do like the schedule with this much practice. I think it was needed. I think we're going to have a better race because of the extra lap time for these drivers.
And I think, we've learned a lot from practice as we get ready for our broadcast. But the one thing universally we all agree on, race on Sunday is going to be outstanding.
Oh, boy.
It's going to be full of challenges. Sliding tires, grip, aero issues, lack of downforce, lack of visibility, being in traffic, and we haven't had a lot of opportunity as a driver today to be in traffic. You're going to find yourself behind dozens of cars going into braking zones and understanding immediately, wow, I don't have any of the braking performance that I had in practice yesterday or in qualifying. All of your marks where you start to apply brake, that's all going to have to be adjusted and changed.
Practice 1, quickest Michael McDowell, his old car. Quickest in practice number 2. There's Todd Gilliland. And I know we've talked a lot about the comparisons to Indianapolis. Todd's a pretty good road racer, but his best ever finish in a Cup car was a top 5 at Indy on the road. So as you start connecting dots, and maybe that's extreme, but I would just say that every once in a while the data does tell a bit of a story, and the fact that he's where he is shouldn't be surprising to us.
The other thing I've learned is that if you call the perfect strategy, but you just get a behind on tires or a caution kind of closes the field up, Dale, I'm a little worried. I don't know where you're going to be able to protect I see just a lot of places where someone's going to be able to get by you. 1, 4, a couple, shots out of those S's. Not to mention, if they get to your back bumper in the stadium and you're on old tires, they can be able to shove you up out of the way. Like, I just don't know that you can hold a lead on a tire deficit.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I see in the stadium, so coming out of turn 11, there's the opportunity to be tidy to get back over to the right for the hard, sharp turn 12. And other cars can overshoot that exit in turn 11 and really get wide there and dive hard to the inside and force you. You have no choice but to give up the position there. There'll be a lot of arguments going on in that stadium. Trevor.
I'm here with Todd Gilliland, fastest in that final practice. I came up to you before practice. I said, you're kind of a sneaky road course ringer, and you downplayed it. What's up with that?
Just hopefully I can just keep it within the walls of the racetrack and keep it on the blacktop. So that's always my goal when it comes to a road course. But yeah, we've had some good speed when we've come to the road courses. So yeah, it feels really good to be in the ball game with our Long John Silver's Ford Mustang. And yeah, it's tough with a teammate going to a backup car, and our whole team's gonna have to pull together. So but yeah, overall, really happy with our execution of kind of both practices. We made our car a lot better between practices. Made a mock run, so I'm not sure how many people made mock runs, to be fair, but still happy with it, and we're in the ball game. So hopefully make some more good changes overnight, and it's exciting. Kind of gives me a good feeling going into the next couple days.
That's awesome. We saw your teammate, obviously you bring it up, going to a backup car. There was a lot of tire lock up here. What do you think that's from? Is that just being here for the first time, people pushing the limits, or is that a grip level issue?
I don't know. It seems like a grip level issue. I mean, to be honest, I've never seen so many guys in front of me locking up tires, and it seems like you go to the rear and you lock up the rears, and there's just not a lot of grip under braking. So that was one thing that we tried to get a lot better. It looked like everyone's kind of struggling like we talked about, but it should make for an exciting race. And me and you both know, right? When you get someone pressuring you, it seems like that's when you even make a bigger mistake. So it'll be important to be mistake-free on Sunday for sure.
Well, Todd may not have SMT like a lot of teams, but you've got your dad up in the spotter stand helping him out this weekend.
He's young, but he's smart. He said it multiple times. Minimize mistakes, and that will equal success on Sunday. Todd Gilliland leads the way in final practice. We're back at it tomorrow with qualifying, 2 Eastern time on Prime. Xfinity cars hit the track here in Mexico City on CW tomorrow at 4. Sunday, NASCAR Live happens at 2 o'clock. Danielle, Carl, and Corey bring you that. We're racing at 3, NASCAR on Prime from Mexico City. Thank you for being with us. It was a fun day of practice, and the fun is just beginning. We'll see you tomorrow, everybody. Enjoy your weekend.